Hey everybody, Travinia Barber here with Priority VA, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about delegation. Many of you have come to Priority VA and often wondered, what the heck could I outsource? Some of you still, even after having worked with us for years, wonder what you could be delegating to your virtual team, what else you could pass off your plate. I did a webinar once that was how to outsource 80% of the work that you do so that you can focus on that 20% that really moves the needle. And a lot of the feedback that I got from that webinar was, oh my gosh, I didn't know you guys could do that. I didn't know a VA could do that. And I think I've often wondered actually if I named my company incorrectly, Priority VA, because the word VA has sort of been put into a box that they can only be offshore support that, works on off hours and doesn't speak very great English or can only do rote tasks. And that's just not true. And so I wanted to talk with you guys today about some of the things that you could be delegating to a virtual assistant that perhaps you haven't thought of before. And so I'm going to go through some of those things with you, and I'm going to hit them a little bit fast because I want to make sure I can get through all of them and not take up too much of your time. One thing I'm also hearing is that these 10-minute tactics are too long. And so, hell, maybe I'll make them 2 minutes. I'm not sure, but I'm going to just play with this a little bit and continue. I would love to continue to get feedback from you guys on what you need to know that will make these relationships better and make this time that I spend with you so much more valuable and something that is tactical that you can implement right away. So let's go through this. What about calendar management? Is your VA scheduling information for you? Are they scheduling your dentist appointments? Are they working on figuring out automation for maybe Calendly or Schedule Once or something like that? You need to know where you need to be and what the meeting is about, but you don't need to be the one scheduling it. So please be sure that you're at least looking at that as an option. Of course, you guys know I am a big stickler on email management. The goal is, oh, look, my microphone's over here. The goal is zero inbox, not inbox zero. And if you will allow your virtual assistant to get in your inbox and start a conversation and answering those emails for you, they can become not a gatekeeper for you because they're not going to keep people away from you, but they're really going to be the gateway for your email, people that are emailing you, your students, your customers, your relationships, whatever, and making sure that those people have the information that they need and that they get sort of put into the right direction. So website management, of course, a lot of our VAs have some great WordPress experience and that is an option. Not all of them do. And so I don't want to get y'all too excited, but most of them, they can do some updates to your website. They can post up blog posts and things like that. What about a content calendar? Oh my gosh, one of my next videos in the next few weeks are going to be all about creating a year's worth of content in just a couple of hours. And so they can handle that for you. They can run with a calendar. Many of them have also great writing abilities, and they would love to be able to at least give some ideas to the types of content that your audience might be interested in. Of course, they can schedule your haircut or review the contracts that you need to send out in order to make sure that your butt is covered, right, with things that you're creating. They can make sure that with this new whole GDPR stuff, that your funnels are protected, that you've got the correct privacy practices in place, and that you guys are letting your audience know about that, which you guys, the deadline is May 25th. So let's be sure that you guys have got that done. But, they can be the ones that are following up with your clients or, cleaning up the blog posts and editing it, making sure that you look and sound good. They can handle social media management for you. Many of them have experience with Twitter and Facebook and Pinterest and Instagram. And so while not everyone is going to be a graphic designer, it's important to ask your virtual assistant if that's something that they would enjoy doing and that they have the bandwidth to do for you. Because for many of them, it's kind of fun to get to create content that goes out on social and that actually brings about engagement for you and your audience. That's really fun. That sort of community management piece is really a break from the traditional for a lot of VAs. So that's something that you can think about. What about research? I was just listening to a video between Jeff Goins and a gentleman that he is writing a book with. And they said, well, we got the outline of the book done, but we have some research to do. And I just wanted to say, like, call us. Like, we can help with that. Researching to make sure that, the facts that you're using, that you're really the expert, is something that we can certainly help you with. Or, forum moderation, if you have a community membership site, I think that that's something really, really good, that it doesn't always have to be you. And if you have brought your team into the fold and you have introduced them to your audience in an appropriate way, they feel as if they're one step closer to you when they get to engage with your assistant. I remember when I worked with Amy Porterfield, people used to be like, oh my gosh, are you the Travinia? And they would get so excited because in their minds, they felt like they were one step closer to Amy if they got to be buddies with me. And so it made her brand look so much better. It made her seem so much more accessible, even though it didn't really mean that she was more accessible. It just meant that people felt like they were being heard. So that's a great way too to up-level your brand. I'm going to go through some other stuff really quickly, but like travel arrangements and purchasing gifts and making sure that your expense reimbursement tracking is totally on point. We use an app called Receipt Bank, and I love it because it's actually even taken the human component out of it. I literally take a picture of a receipt. I can type in what I was doing, and then that goes off to our bookkeeping and accounting team, and then they make sure that that is, addressed correctly on the back end using our software Xero. So there is a way that you can even remove a human from doing it. But if it's something that you're a little bit old school and you want to just continue to track receipts, certainly find they can help you with that piece. Event management and content repurposing. If you wrote a blog post, that we've got this great training that Gary Nealon did a long time ago at an event that I was at, where he talked about taking one piece of content and sort of distributing it amongst a whole bunch of different platforms. And that one piece of content goes, I think now he's even up-leveled it and it goes to like 20 different places. But at the time he did it, it was like 10 or 11 different places. So we can help with that type of things too. And so what about Pinterest? Many of you are not using Pinterest for lead generation, and that's totally an option. Here's another thing. Have you looked at your LinkedIn profile? And do you know what your SSI score is? I had no idea. I didn't even know it was such a thing until I was at a mastermind in Puerto Rico and I heard Joshua B. Lee speak. And he started talking about how LinkedIn is they got bought by Microsoft, and like they're just doing this a whole overhaul, and it's an incredible platform to get highly qualified leads for your business. And he said, you got to make sure your SSI score is high. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. So he told me where to go. And I looked, and I guess a good SSI score is 80 or higher. And mine was 67. So clearly I've got some work to do. So those are types of things that we're going to be doing a training on LinkedIn with Joshua B. Lee so that our VAs can get up to speed on how they can actually use LinkedIn for you. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, you guys. Like, there are so many different things that we can do and help you with. And I just want you to start thinking outside the box. Have you ever thought of sending a press release and what that might do for your business? Have you thought about having your VA scour Haro, help a reporter out, to find opportunities for you to get published in a major, newspaper or magazine or things like that? There are so many different ways that we can help you, whether it's iCloud storage or Dropbox, cleanup, or employment verification for a new team member that you want to bring on. If you want to have them set up a new autoresponder sequence for you to ensure that your customers are being onboarded properly, there are so many different things. Maybe it's time for you to move from Trello to something like Airtable. Your VA can help you with that. And so don't be afraid to think outside the box. Have them work on KPI reports for your business. Figure out what those metrics that matter are. I have a thing over here on my board, and metrics that matter for us are how many leads we have. Obviously, the dollar amount of revenue. I do something called points on the board because finance freaks me out. And so we've developed a system that we gamified. And so I want to know how many points we have on the board and then how many leads we have incoming. Keep your team abreast of that. Help them know what your goals are, and then allow them to keep track of that so that you guys can course correct together. Have you ever had them monitor your affiliate accounts and make sure that every link that you guys have on a resource page on your website is an affiliate account? I know that 20 cents from Amazon doesn't really make a big dent in your business, but it can add up for sure. Set up tags for your Evernote account if that's what you're using, or maybe creating Gmail filters for you so that you're not inundated with the emails from the restaurant that you signed up to be on their mailing list because you got a 10% off coupon. Maybe that's only me that does that. Setting up lawn service for your house is even something they can do, or they can write show notes for your podcast. They can rebook your flight when you've missed it, or print business cards when you're at an event and realize that you still need some. Because yeah, business cards for some places are still a thing. I still use them. Blows my mind that people even ask for them, but I like to have a few on hand just in case. So guys, that's just a tiny little list of things. They can be searching for photography or vetting interview requests for you. So many things. So ask them. Ask your VA what they would love to help you with. And then try it out for a week or two and let this be easy for you. Think outside the box. If you want to brainstorm a little bit about what your VA could be doing for you, let me know and we can hop on a call and we can figure out what the best things to delegate for you are. I look forward to hearing from you soon, you guys. Have a great day.